Hi everybody. Sorry, I'm not there today. We're going to watch this video really quick and then you're going to have time to work on your homework. So hopefully by now you've grabbed a packet, Unit 4 packet. We are going to page 6 where it says Spring Lab and Notes. We're going to do this with a simulation and then you'll be able to work on Worksheet 2. So turn to page 6 and we're going to take some notes. First thing you need to know about springs is there's something called the natural length. So if you think about a spring, like a coil, there's a natural length that springs like to sit at. So the natural length is when a spring is relaxed and not stretched. So since it's not stretched or compressed, there's no stored energy. There's no U spring potential energy. So you're writing this on page 6. You also want to think about equilibrium. So equilibrium is when the spring is stretched, but there's no net force. We can stretch it. It can be at rest. There can be stored with spring potential energy inside of it, but the net force is 0. So that would be an equilibrium point. And there's 2 ways to transfer energy to a spring. So you can stretch it out, then there's spring potential energy, or you can compress it, squish it, okay? That's another way to transfer energy to a spring. And finally, something weird about springs is that there's a varying force. So you do not have a spring on your table because I'm not there today. Maybe you see one around the classroom. But if you pull a spring, you're going to notice it's not a constant force like we talked about in Unit 2. It's a varying force. So the harder you pull a spring, the more force it requires. So this is weird. This is different. And we're going to kind of work with springs in this simulation today. So pause the video, make sure you've got all these down, and then we're going to go on to page 7. All right, so flipping to page 7, we're going to take a look at the graph. I want you guys to sketch the graph here that we're going to take a look at virtually here. So this is a simulation that shows a hand pulling a spring to the right, and we can measure the force. So if I press start, you can see it's pulling the spring a certain distance and it was measuring the force. So down here below, we actually get that graph. Force versus stretch. Wonderful. It's linear. So go ahead and sketch this graph. You don't need numbers. Just force on the y-axis, stretch on the x-axis, and a linear line on the top of page 7. All right. So what you notice about this particular graph, pause the video if you haven't sketched that. But this particular graph is it looks like we got up to half a Newton at 16 centimeters. So it didn't take very much force to get there. Half a Newton's not much. But you can see that force, you had to pull harder and harder and harder in order to get this spring stretched more and more. So I can do this again. I can do data collection for this spring again. It's pulling, it's pulling, it's pulling. You can see the force values increasing. And this one went even further. So still, to get to half a Newton, we had to pull to about 16 centimeters. But this time we pulled all the way out to 35 centimeters. So all the way up to over 1 Newton of force. So one thing we could look at would be the slope of this line. That's something we do in lab, right? So if we do rise over run, we're getting like 1 Newton divided by 30 centimeters. About. It's a little bit past that, so 32 centimeters. 1 Newton for 32 centimeters. 31 centimeters, something like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you another spring. So you don't need to sketch this, but I'm going to reset this, and we're going to do spring, another spring. Now notice when I click this, the actual spring picture here is changing. So if I do spring 4, stretch it out, and we scroll down to look at the graph, remember we were looking at 1 Newton was out at like 32 centimeters? This graph, whoa, so different. 1 Newton is about 10 centimeters. So this has a much higher slope line. Okay, I can even go to another spring. I can go up to spring number 7. You can see what that looks like. The coils are much tighter. And if we look down below, we're getting a way higher slope, right? So 1 Newton is all the way only at 5 centimeters. We're going all the way up to like 6 Newtons, 7 Newtons. So a much higher slope. So that's going to give us some meaning. So going back to page 7, hopefully you have a graph. Don't worry too much about a physics equation. The rest of this I want you to write down under board meeting and notes. So here you go. So we got force for stretch. It is a linear relationship. The steeper the slope tells us it takes more force to stretch the spring to that distance. It's a stiffer spring. So that's what I was kind of alluding to when you look at, if I reset this and click these different numbers, the spring is getting, the coils are getting tighter. It's a stiffer spring. The slope meaning is called the spring constant. We use a lowercase k for it. The units are newtons over meters. So spring constant measured in newtons per meter. And from that we can get this equation. So using y equals mx plus b, y is the force of the spring. The slope is k, the spring constant. And we're going to use x for the stretch. That's stretch or compression. It's just how far have you displaced the spring from its natural length. So this is the first equation in the energy unit that we're going to be putting in our toolbox when I get back. The Fs, that's force of a spring, not static friction. Force of a spring is equal to Kx. But this is the energy unit. So the question is, does this say anything about energy? What we need to remember is the units of energy. So you guys watched a video yesterday for units of energy. Energy is joules, and they're newtons times meters. Well, in this lab, we had newtons on the y-axis, meters on the x-axis, so we are going to look at area here. So we've got newtons and meters. The energy stored in a spring is represented as the area underneath the line here. So thinking back to Unit 1, when you guys had Mr. G, you talked about area. We're going back to area. So on a force versus stretch graph, the area tells us the energy stored in the spring. The US, the spring potential energy. So we could model that by 1/2 base times height. So the base is force, or the base is the stretch. The height is the force stretch, force spring. Don't write that equation down yet, because there's a better way we do that. We don't normally know the force. Usually we don't know the force, but we do know the spring constant. We know the slope of this line. And so what we can do is combine our Fs equation that you already wrote down, Kx, in here for Fs. So it's 1/2 Kx times x, 1/2 Kx squared. So do write this equation down. Circle it, star it, underline it, highlight it. This is the equation for the energy stored in a spring. In order to calculate it, you're going to do 1/2 times the spring constant times how much is the spring stretched or compressed squared. I will also add this equation to the toolbox when I get back. So not a super fun lab today, but what we're going to do is go ahead and go to worksheet 2. And that is going to be due on Monday. So you guys should finish it in class today. Hopefully I'm back Monday. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.